Will the mortgage forbearance lead to an increase of short sales and foreclosures? Time will tell, in my professional opinion, and going through the last market crash, I believe there will be an uptick. What's up, everybody? Steve with Steve Invest. Look, if you're in a position where you're having a tough time paying your mortgage and you want to take advantage of the mortgage forbearance, be sure that you guys are reading the fine print and understanding exactly what is in it. See, there's a lot of misinformation out there of exactly what the forbearance is. And understand something, the forbearance is not a deferment. A deferment is essentially tacking that amount due onto the end of the mortgage and restructuring that mortgage with almost essentially a loan modification. A forbearance essentially is just delaying that payment, and then essentially it balloons at the end of that agreed upon time period. Look, I get it, we're in uncharted territory right now with everything that's going on. So if you can pay your mortgage and you guys are comfortable paying your mortgage, I highly suggest that you continue doing so. But let me play out the scenario for you guys. So let's say your bank agrees to a 12-month forbearance period and your mortgage is $1,500 a month. You are not obligated to pay that mortgage for 12 months, but at the end of 12 months, that entire amount comes whole. So $1,500 times 12 months is $18,000. Plus you're gonna be going into month 13, so it's an additional $1,500. So that equates to $19,500 coming into month 13. And unless many of you guys are stacking that kind of money away and preparing for this kind of balloon forbearance payment, it's gonna be a tough time for you guys. It's gonna be a tough road by utilizing the forbearance strategy. And I get it. A lot of people have no other options. They have no other choices. They've been laid off. They're relying on, the stimulus plans. They're relying on unemployment benefits. And many times, a lot of people are having difficulty even getting their stimulus checks and even going through the unemployment process of getting those checks coming out to them as well. So I get it. Many of you might be in this situation where you really have no other choice. But I just want you guys to be aware of what the consequences do look like if the forbearance process balloons out. Now, what are the options when this balloon comes to fruition? Obviously, strategy number one is to make the mortgage whole, come up with the $18,000 or whatever the amount is for you guys, and make that mortgage whole. The second option is you guys can sell the property if you guys have enough equity in the property, but understand something, that forbearance amount is still part of that mortgage. So you guys will have to have enough equity that's going to compensate for those past due or past delinquent payments. Another option, especially if you guys are showing a lot of hardship, is the option of doing a short sale. I have a lot of other videos on this channel that discusses the short sale process, so you guys can check out some of those other videos as well. The fourth option could be a loan modification, where the bank would essentially have to go through the process of looking at all your financials, your tax returns, and see if they would actually package up your delinquent forbearance payments with your mortgage, kind of create a whole new mortgage for you guys and amortize it over 30 years or maybe longer, maybe a reduced interest rate, but some sort of modification that makes it easier for you guys to make payments when this thing all settles out. And the last two options are foreclosure and deed in lieu of foreclosure. Foreclosure is essentially the bank is going to foreclose, take the property back if you guys are not making any payments on it, and the deed in lieu of foreclosure is making it easier for the bank. Still foreclosure on your record, but basically you're just handing the keys over to the lender, and in some cases they might even provide you cash for keys just to move out of the property, as long as you keep the property in a decent condition. Look, all I can do is speak from my experience, especially going through the last real estate recession in 2008. The lending institutions, everybody was insane. There was no strategy. A lot of things that you would say this is common sense within the banking institution was not common sense at all. They made a lot of strange decisions. Do not rely on the banking institutions to have your back, because I can tell you it's going to be a long, drawn-out process. I've seen a lot of people go for loan modifications. They provided all the information to the banks. They were ideal candidates to get a loan modification, and sure enough, last minute, they decide not to do a loan modification, and then these people end up in a short sale or foreclosure situation. And here's a prime example of how disorganized banks are. We've had a recent short sale scenario that we had, and we had a price of $225,000 for this short sale, and then it had to go through their system of an online auction and so forth. That same buyer submitted their bid through this online auction and actually got it $10,000 cheaper. Again, there's no common sense within the banking institutions, and obviously it worked in that buyer's favor and against the bank, but there's no logic within the banking institution. So trust me when I say this, do not rely on the banks to have your best interest. Here are my suggestions. Number one is, again, if you guys can pay your mortgage, do so. If you're comfortable paying your mortgage, you have the funds, don't take advantage of the forbearance just because it's a delayment of payment. That's not gonna help you guys. It's just gonna cause more anguish and difficulty in the future for you guys. So I highly recommend, if you can pay your mortgage, continue paying your mortgage. The second thing is, and with everything going on right now, is a prime time to really go through your personal profit and loss statement. See where your money's going. Take a look at what kind of liabilities that you guys have and see what you can do to start getting rid of certain liabilities. You know, I think a certain level of financial security and financial foundation is imperative to live more of a stressless life, and that's a lot that's talked about in this channel. Steve Invest is, you know, really trying to build a financial foundation for you and your family. So right now, take that time to educate yourself on your personal expenses and what liabilities you can kick to the curb. And also, assuming you guys do have plenty of time on your hands right now with everything going on, start studying money, start studying financial freedom and financial intelligence, and what you can do to start building yourself. You know, the last market recession, 2008, I was not in a good financial position, and I made a vow to myself that I would never ever put myself in a situation like that again. And coming into this black swan situation, I feel way more comfortable than I ever have before financially, because I built that financial foundation. So right now is the time to start making some changes. And lastly, this will pass. So just understand that, you know, things might be really bad for you guys in your situation, or your financial situation, your job situation, but things will get better. Look guys, if you like this kind of content, I appreciate you guys subscribing. I appreciate a big thumbs up if you did like this video, and check out some of these other videos on financial freedom, and I appreciate the support. Thanks a lot.